which tells the story of a man who lived nearly 200 years ago with a message some say is still relevant today.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
In recent years, racial tensions have been high in the US and UK, with many black and minority communities feeling ignored and that their history is being disrespected.
No justice, no peace!
Now in the heart of Edinburgh's Fringe, a musical is being staged, which shines a light on a little-known hero of the past.
I shall have my freedom, or die in the attempt.
It was in a box actually smaller than this that a Virginia slave made his escape to freedom. Surprisingly, his incredible adventure hasn't made many of the history books, but that's all about to change.
This is the tale of Henry Box Brown. In 1848, his pregnant wife and children were torn away from him and sold to new slave owners. This drove Henry to post himself in a box to Philadelphia, a free state.
The name is Henry Brown.
The lead character is played by Paul Jean.
What drew you to the role?
Well, I've always wanted to play a slave. Sounds weird, but I've always wanted to be able to connect with my past. And it's an incredible story about faith. It's an incredible journey. It's an inspiring story.
Henry's journey to freedom certainly wasn't easy. He had to convince a pastor and a shop owner to help him.
My name is Reverend James Smith. I have been struggling for a long time with my position in a slave-holding congregation.
He burnt his hands with sulfuric acid to get out of work for the day. And the journey in the box lasted 27 hours, with Henry being bumped and bashed as he travelled by wagon, railroad, steamboat and ferry with just a single hole for air. But he was driven by his faith in God.
Faith is a big part of this show.
Yeah.
How important is faith to you?
Oh man, faith got me here. Faith allowed me to get out of places that I was in that I shouldn't have been in. And it's so important to Henry. His journey is similar to mine in the sense of pushing through, trusting God, despite what you're faced with.
It's an inspiring tale directed by Tony Award-winning Ben Harney and written by Mayor Mansouri, who stumbled across this story in a rather surprising place.
We started to put together a story that we found of Henry Box Brown in a picture book. And I thought, well, if the slavery story can be in a child's picture book, it can't be such a taboo to do as a musical, said I.
When you consider the story is 160 years old, which is and isn't a long time ago, how relevant do you feel it is to today's world?
Fortunately and unfortunately, it's very relevant. The issues still pervade. What's happening on the political scene now has sort of opened the floodgates of emotion and response and reactionism in the culture.
That's something that Paul feels very strongly about too.
Within your life, is slavery something that you still think about to this day?
Absolutely. And I see the effects of slavery emotionally, spiritually, and physically every day.
Oh, freedom over me.
From the class system to health to education to everything.
To my Lord
And even though some might dismiss musicals as lightweight, the team here think it's the perfect way to get across these serious messages.
I mean, there is no more powerful genre or area of music than the Negro spiritual. It is the sorrow song. It is the source of the indigenous American music, jazz and rock and roll and R&B and hip hop and all of it. It all comes from the Negro spiritual, the sorrow song, the song of the slave. But it's transformative. And when you hear them sung by a choir of voices that really own them, oh my.
the story of Henry Box Brown, which looks really well received in Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's all from us for this week. Many thanks to all our guests and to you at home for your contributions. I'll see you next Sunday at the later time of 11 o'clock. Until then, goodbye.
Close the Fringe Festival. Say hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, family. Saya, say hi to Daddy.
Hi, Daddy. Did you see that?
Thank you, Melina.
He woke up just in time.
Tara. We couldn't have done it without all the people in this house. This was a gratitude to everybody in this house. Thank you, David, for filming it. That was great. That was so cool.